Welcome to this masterclass of the most common mistakes that do not allow you to sell out your retreat. I'm your host, Lainey Cavazos, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. So for those of you who do not know me, I want to share with you why I started hosting retreats and why I started my company, The Retreat Planner, where we actually help others create high impact with retreats in the world. I was actually attending this beautiful transformational women's retreat that completely changed my life. It was so beautiful. I got to see myself in a more feminine energy and really connect with my true purpose and passion in life. And it was so deeply transformational that it just completely changed my life in a way that I cannot yet describe. I became so close with the facilitators. We became friends and we started talking, and I was asking them, when is the next retreat happening? This has just changed my life so much. I want more people to attend it and to go to it. And sadly, I got this reply that said, well, we're not going to host it ever again because we barely broke even. And I was like, how is this possible? The retreat actually had 13 attendees in it. And it was just so deeply transformational. I almost felt like I was upset. I was angry on their behalf because I want more people to change their lives. And this was such a powerful experience. And I just knew I had to help more people be able to actually run retreats like a business that make profit, that are transformational, that they change people's lives, but that they people kept doing them because they have the possibilities to do it. Because of that, and because I don't do things halfway, I went on and interviewed over 100 retreat leaders to figure out what was going. It was quite a few years ago. And I keep doing this research over and over again because I want to make sure that we are with the current details in the market. And with these interviews, I found some threads that were connecting between each single one of the retreat hosts. And I could see what was going on in there. So today I'm going to talk about the 3 most common mistakes that do not allow you to sell out your retreat. And we're also going to demystify sell out as a concept of success. All right. So first biggest mistake, and it starts on the top. Yeah. It's not even down the road. It's not about your customer journey. It's not about your marketing campaign. It's actually about the name of your retreat. Yes, as you hear it, the name of your retreat makes it or breaks it. The reality is that if the name of your retreat is not clear, people do not understand what it is, they might be the ideal client and still they will not sign up. So I'll be giving you some clear examples on how this works. All right. So a name that does not really work is reset, relax, and restore. It's too vague. What does it mean relax? What does it mean restore for you? Does it mean the same that it means for someone nearby you? And you can go ahead and ask your friends, right? For me, relaxing means getting a massage. And for other people, relaxing might be being in silence for a week. So having such a vague name for your retreat does not allow you to really filter those ideal clients in your space. Now I'm going to give you an example of actually retreat names that really are very, very clear. So I'm going to use my upcoming retreat as an example. Healing your throat chakra for visibility and success. Right, so let's break this down. So it's so clear in a way that only if you want to heal your throat chakra, or you know there's something there that you don't say out loud, that when you are ready to share your message with the world, something stops you. You know this retreat might be the answer that you're looking for, right? And then healing your throat chakra for visibility and success. Now, it tells you what you're going to get as a result, right? So you're going to get more visible, you're going to get more success. And it also tells you for who it is, right? Who are the main people who want to be more visible and they want to be more successful, right? These are the people who are interested in the space of growing their business, right? So it's for entrepreneurs, it's for solopreneurs. Yes, it does work for a mom stay-at-home mom that wants to be more visible and more successful in their household. And yes, they are welcome, but it's not the main target audience. As much as the process and the model inside of it, the method will work for them. So bringing these huge clarity in the space is such an important piece. Now, let's think about other examples. And I'm going to do this in the way that I'm going to teach you 3 different ways on how you can name your retreat, right? So the first one is the one that I already covered. It's results oriented. What are you going to get out of it, right? So healing your throat chakra for visibility and success. It's for people who are also bold. It's for people who know they want to change something in their lives. They're going to come with this high intentionality in the space. The second style is aspirational or inspirational, right? So aspirational, who do you want to become? Maybe you want to expand your business, right? So this is the person you want to become. Maybe you want to become a more abundant person. So maybe the retreat is called manifesting. Maybe you want to become a person who's a great public speaker, right? So it's like become a public speaker retreat, right? Maybe you want to launch a podcast inside of a retreat. So it's an aspirational space. It's who you can become. It's someone who can become more, yes, maybe more relaxed, but how would you get there, right? So it's an aspirational space. Like it's about the future self that you want to pull into your present. And the third one is actually choosing your name based on the location, right? So there's a caveat here. Retreat in Bali will not filter the people out there. But there are people who want to travel to a location specifically, and then they want to go into retreat. So for example, for people looking in retreats in Bali, mentioning the location might be great. But if you're doing it in a little town that you can barely pronounce the name, this is not the way you choose the name of your retreat. So you want to know your audience before you name your retreat, right? For me, I know I work with conscious coaches, therapists, yoga teachers that want to change the world. They want to create an impact. And my retreat is a foundational piece for you to get there. It's not a retreat about how to build retreats, because if you're not visible, if you're not successful, if you're not able to share your message with the world, you're not going to get there. It's going to be very hard. The road will be very hard, even if you have all the strategies and the tools and, you know, the perfect and beautiful house. So the 3 main ways on how to name your retreat is on results-based, aspirational, right, and location-based. There are other ways on how you can name your retreat, but these are the ones that have the highest performance. Now, I want to move into the second most common mistake. And this is so important because, and I'm so passionate about this process, it's the pricing of your retreat. You don't want to be pricing your retreat based on the competition, on what other people are charging. You want to price for success. So one of the most common mistakes is that we see, oh, well, everyone is charging $2,500 for their retreat, so then I'm going to charge the same. But what if your costs are $2,300? That means you're just leaving a profit of $200. And this might mean that if you have 10 people, it's $2,000 for maybe 6, 8, 9 months of work. So making sure that when you're pricing your retreat, you are doing it in this space where it just feels so aligned with also the value that you are providing inside of the retreat. A perfect example for this: if you are a therapist that has a huge high success rate helping people avoid divorce, the value of your retreat is not the location, it's not the meals, it's a transformation. It's everything that goes beyond it. So think about it in that space and make sure that when you are doing your pricing, you're considering the months of the promotional campaign, the hours that you're going to invest. You're considering also how much would you pay yourself for hosting this retreat. Let's say in case you had to hire someone else because for some reason you cannot attend the retreat, how much would they charge you to actually show up and host this retreat? So pricing, it's just huge. There's also a lot of hidden costs that we might not consider when pricing our retreats. So stop using your competitor analysis to define your pricing. Really do a conscious analysis of your costs and then how much it's worth the transformation. So going back to an example of someone who helps people avoid divorce, what is the value behind it? Is it money saved on attorneys, the therapists, the cost of running two households? And even if you don't stay married, right? What about what we call these days an uncoupling retreat, where you actually get to deal in a very conscious way on the separation? So you again avoid attorney's fees, you avoid so many hassles. Maybe you avoid a 3-year fight in order to get divorced. So I want to really invite you to think about your pricing in this space. Yeah, this is one piece that I'm extremely passionate about when it comes to hosting retreats, because I've seen people barely profit. I remember this person who showed up once in one session, and she was saying, well, I need to sell my last retreat spot. And I was like, okay, so how many people can come into this retreat? And she was like, well, 13 people is the maximum capacity. And I was like, okay, so when is your break even? And she was like, on number 12. And I was like, how is it possible that you're working for everyone else but yourself? A great question, easy, simple question to ask yourself when you're thinking about pricing is this pricing? Am I working for me, or am I working for the retreat center, the chefs, the facilitators, et cetera, et cetera? Is this business for me, or am I supporting the community? We want to really bring into this energy, into this space, that you are running a business. And it's a business that should actually be profitable. And you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the people you're hosting the retreat for. Imagine if you went to a retreat, right? And the person hosting the retreat barely made any money. Maybe they paid for their traveling expenses. And their thought of mind is, how am I going to pay for rent? Or how am I going to pay for my mortgage, or for food, or for my credit card, whatever it is? Will they be able to fully show up for you? You want to do the same for the people coming into your retreats. You want to be able to show up from a place where you're fully present. You can hold space. You can help them go through this transformation. It's not just even about yourself, it's about the people attending. So when you're putting your pricing together, I really invite you to consider this and stop going with like, this is what everyone else is charging. Dare to be different. Dare to really see this as a business that it is, a business that changed people's lives. I hope this really makes sense when it comes to pricing. And the third most common mistake, right? And I want to go into this one, with this like caveat about like what it means to have a sold out retreat. It's the most popular thing for people to want to say, oh, I sold out a retreat. Does it really matter if you sold out a retreat if like you barely made it any money, or you actually had to put money out of your pocket? This happens, by the way. Is it really worth it saying I sold out just for the vanity of it? We have transformed the word sold out into a marketing gimmick. And I want you to think that if you're actually having a sustainable business model, right? And this is something I help all my clients with. You actually don't need to have a sold out retreat in order to be profitable. Yes, if you have it, amazing, great news. But if you are working towards the goal of actually selling out a retreat just for the sake of selling it, your energy also shifts. You're showing up from a place of scarcity. I need one more person. If I just get my number, I'll be able to tell people I sold out a retreat. You're changing your energy instead of showing up from a place of service. Selling your retreat should always come from a place of service. I always talk to the people who want to attend my retreats because I want to make sure that this is the right retreat for them, and I'm going to be able to support them in that process, in that journey. It's not just about me making another sale. It's about changing people's lives. The same way when people show up and join my programs, right? I want to make sure that you can get the best support, you can get the best results, because I care. I really, truly, truly care about everyone who's in my space. And that's why I created this training, because I think it's so important for us to really allow this information to sink in. Now, when it comes to selling, another of the huge things that happen is when we are selling and we don't have a launch strategy, and we're just posting left and right, and we're talking about the venue, and we're not talking about the transformation, and we're just focused on the things that we think people will like, right? Like going into a beautiful house, so traveling into a beautiful destination. As much as that is a piece that people take into consideration, that's not really what you're selling. You're selling transformation, you're selling support. So make sure that when you're creating your sales page, when you're creating your social media posts, it's with this energy of service, value, and transformation. It's so easy for us to forget the big, big value of what we're offering when we are inside of it. So go ahead and ask a friend, what do you understand of this? Does this make sense? Is this something that you would like to attend? Would you go into this space or not? Because it makes a huge, huge difference when you get people, your support system, to actually come and be like, yes, I understand this. This is what I'm looking for. And then also something that I really like to advise people in my space is to create this wish list. This wish list of retreat attendees. And you can start with like the first 25 people and then expand to 50 and expand to 100. Not so long ago, I actually got a message from Elisa, who hosts retreats in Italy, saying that the exercise that she did had such a huge success because one of the people in her list invited her to come to her house with some friends to introduce the retreat in Italy. Guess what? When she showed up, there were 9 women. These 9 women, all of them, they were in her list. So forget about like these super tactical strategies and drop into the energy of what you want to create. Who are you creating this for? Why did you decide to host this retreat? For me, for healing your throat chakra, for visibility and success, that is happening in October. The whole reason I created it is because this has been my journey of being able to share my message with the world, to not hide behind and play it small. And I went through such a huge healing journey with amazing facilitators that are coming to this retreat to change the way I show up in the world, to really allow myself to share my message without feeling fear of being judged. I know not everyone is going to like me. I am not meant to be everyone's cup of tea. A glass of champagne, 100%. So I really invite you to step into this journey where you really think your why, the purpose, and then show up with that energy. Maybe before you answer a DM, just go into mini meditation and envision the retreat happening. What's changed? What's the transformation in that space? And just take it from there. Go deeper into this journey because people deserve to see you. You deserve to show up in the world in such a powerful way. All right, so let's do a little bit of a tiny recap in this space. And before we do that, I want to just share with you that we are opening a new group container of Mastering the Art of Retreat Planning. It's a 12-week container where we go from A to Z. It doesn't matter if you have never hosted a retreat or you have hosted retreats, to really find out the system that is yours. Right? This is something that's so important for me. There's no cookie cutter answer in my containers. I want you to be able to build your dream life and your dream business, however that looks like. And I'm going to support you through that process. Right. And it's all about mindset and strategy. It's not just strategy. It's like about what is stopping us from really showing up into this space. Right. So if you're interested, you'll find a link to actually book a call with me to figure out if this is the right program for you. So thank you so much for listening to this tiny commercial of different ways and how you can work with me, right? So you can either come to the retreat in Mexico in October. We still have a few spots available for it. Or you can join the program Mastering the Art of Retreat Planning with an amazing community of transformational leaders that want to change the world the same way you want to. So this recap of this episode, right, is number one, choose your name, right? Be intentional about how you choose your name. Like, just don't do it for the sake of it, right? Number two, price for success. Just don't price for the sake of like whatever else is everyone is doing or what we think people can afford. Like, there's 23 million millionaires in America. I think there's enough people out there that can pay your price point for sure. And number third, go into the sales from a place of service, not from a place of scarcity. Thank you so much for listening to this, and I hope to get to meet you and spend more time together in the future. Bye.